The woman discovered in terror that her husband's shirt from his cremation had inexplicably appeared in her home. She immediately recalled the series of strange events that had occurred in recent days. A few days ago, she awoke from a dream. In the dream, her husband had returned. But in reality, her husband had been dead for 7 days. She thought it was just a nightmare. Yet when she turned around, she saw a ring on the bedside table. At first, she assumed it was her wedding ring. But when she looked at her hand, her own ring was still on her finger. A cold sweat broke out over her. That wedding ring was her husband's ring. She clearly remembered that the ring had been cremated with him. As she stood there confused, she heard her daughter shouting. She immediately went to her daughter's room. Her daughter said that daddy had just come back. He had played hide-and-seek with her and kissed her on the forehead. The woman believed her daughter's grief had caused a hallucination. She comforted her daughter, but the next moment, she sensed something was wrong. Suddenly, she smelled her husband's cologne, yet all of her husband's belongings had been cremated. Her daughter insisted that daddy was right there. The woman turned around and indeed saw a figure behind the curtain. She jumped in fright. Summoning her courage, she pulled back the curtain, but found nothing. Seeing no sign of anything, she reluctantly soothed her daughter back to sleep. She convinced herself that the hallucination was the result of too much sorrow for both her and her daughter. But when she reached for the ring, she realized it was gone. Just then, the wedding photo suddenly fell off the wall. She was startled once again. Upon closer inspection, she saw that the nail in the wall had fallen out. The whereabouts of the ring remained a mystery. The next morning, the woman woke up to find the wedding photo hanging back on the wall. But she distinctly remembered that it had fallen down the day before. She got out of bed and made herself a glass of milk. After sending her daughter off to school, she was shocked to discover that the milk had turned into coffee. In the whole house, only her late husband had ever liked coffee. Fear washed over her once more. Just then, a lottery official from the welfare lottery found the woman. He told her that her husband had won $10 million. He instructed her to go to number 444 Shishan Road before midnight to claim the prize. He said her husband had bought the ticket on April 4th, but that was the exact day her husband had been cremated. The woman felt confused again. That night, she went to the address on the business card, only to find it was a cemetery. When she turned around, the sanitation worker who had been there was gone. Terrified and at a loss, she waited until her close friend arrived. She immediately recounted everything to her friend. Her friend thought it was a prank, believing it to be the result of her imagination. The woman, however, firmly believed her husband had returned. Her friend suggested installing surveillance cameras. In the middle of the night, the woman felt someone had broken in. She immediately got out of bed but found nothing unusual. She went to her daughter's room and saw she was sleeping soundly, so she checked the monitoring feed on her phone. To her horror, she saw a silhouette standing by the curtains in the room. She was so frightened that her hair stood on end. The phone slipped from her hand and fell to the floor. Gathering her courage, she asked the figure who it was, but the silhouette gave no response. Panicked, she picked up the phone and called her friend, urging her to